Okay, Scott. What's the eraser shield on your? It looks like a blank page, and you've got your eraser shield out.
Well, my guidelines. I'm drawing with an H pencil, so you probably can't
Okay,
see it.
okay, yeah,
Anyway, yeah,
yeah.
this is not too exciting when you can't see it, is it? It's not
It's
that
yeah.
great
It's
when you
less of
can
a
see it.
mystery though than it was
Yeah,
before I asked you.
no doubt. So how are you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, are you going to watch Fallout on Prime with
You
Walter
know what?
Goggins?
I think I am actually. I
I
don't
think
know
I am
anything
too.
about Fallout,
I don't either. But I know
but
Walter
I
Goggins
mean I
is
know a
pretty
little bit
dang
about
good,
it.
even without a nose. I imagine he'll be good. He's the
Yeah, I
guy
mean
without the nose.
I actually have a little. It's a very small book, but it's a Fallout art book.
Uh huh.
It's like this big, but it's it's. I understand what Fallout's about.
Yeah, I read a little bit about it from the actor's standpoint of Goggins talking about his early days in Hollywood. I've never seen a single Shield. Have you ever watched any of those? The Shield,
No,
what?
no.
Yeah, that is. It sounds like it had that guy that was the Thing,
Oh
Chickless,
yeah,
and
Chickless.
I guess he never went on beyond. The Fantastic Four was like his final
Career
hurrah. It
poison.
seems like, yeah, yeah, career poison. It's like, okay, well,
Yeah, I
I
think
can't think of anything else he's done.
God, it may have killed. Who was the girl that played Sue Storm?
Oh, she
Uh,
was great. She was great. She's the one that was in Sin City, but I don't
right,
know
but
that.
I don't know if she did anything after Fantastic Four.
Uh,
Maybe that was maybe Sin City was after that.
Sin
Maybe
City, I think, probably came after it. Maybe not. Joe's Alba, something like that. Well, she's
Jessica.
gorgeous. Yeah, when you're just drop dead gorgeous, that only lasts X amount of time, and then it's like,
Yeah,
okay, now you're just gorgeous, you know. And we
yeah,
got so many gorgeous girls, and they can act
yeah.
better than you.
There's yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not fair. I mean,
Yeah, life
half
is
is the
not
guys
fair.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
but it's also not fair that drop dead gorgeous people get the break into Hollywood. So
Well,
you know, I
drop
mean,
dead gorgeous
cry me a
people.
river over a short career, right?
Yeah, well,
Versus
it's
no
life.
career.
It's
Yeah,
life.
that's life.
Can you remember like in junior high where people were like just silly? Hey, Dan has dropped in. The Shield is excellent. That was one of the best police dramas ever. I have not seen one. And hey, guys, I
Hey,
was just
Dan.
it's just I haven't seen Walter Goggins as a young punk in it because that was ages ago. So he'd be much younger than he was in Justified. That's when I became the fan of Walter Goggins
Oh,
as,
okay.
as Boyd Crowder in Justified.
I'm unfamiliar with all this stuff. I don't watch a lot of TV, embarrassingly.
Well, it's not embarrassing. I can't get started on it. I was amazed at myself. I said, "Come on, man! You got to find something you want to watch." I was just
No,
clicking and
that's my
clicking and clicking
problem.
and clicking.
It's like, what
Yeah,
do it's. I mean, because like at night, I do 30 minutes on the elliptical every night, and
you got to find
you
something.
got to watch something. I mean, YouTube videos are okay, but God, they're just
You want something long
And
form.
here's the other thing. Yeah, exactly. You want a narrative. And
Mm-hmm.
here's the other thing. My wife, who I would never say anything bad about, shares the same YouTube channel I do. I mean, she we have one subscription. So she gets on and like while I'm okay. So right now she's downstairs and she's watching something about British houses,
Uh huh.
and she'll watch over the course of the evening. She might watch 4 or 5 videos about British houses. So my feed is all British houses. It's like, and I've threatened her. I've said, look, I mean, I've threatened her with, I'm going to kick you off my YouTube channel because I can't, anything I like gets pushed to the bottom because I'm watching it once a week,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Uh
she's
huh. Oh
watching it.
yeah, yeah. She's the algorithm on
She
everything. Yeah,
sets,
yeah.
yeah, she's setting it, and I'm like, you're killing me here. You're killing me. And I would not complain about my wife, but I am
But
complaining
I
about
will
my.
anyway.
I will in this case. Yeah, it's just like I said, there's stuff I like. I will watch, but God, I can't find it because it's like, where'd that go? And I subscribe. Well, she subscribed to a bunch of stuff too, It's like, oh man, and I never
Yeah.
can remember the name of stuff I like, because the stuff I like is very. It's not like I'm doing an episode every day. Other than like Woo, we watch Woo,
Hmm.
but
That
other than
guy, I
that,
guess, has kept the weight off. I've only seen him a couple times recently, but I need to do a search for him so he's back in my algorithm a little more
yeah, I mean
often.
he's moved to Celebration, Florida, which
Hmm.
is a town like right next to Disney World. It's pretty close. And he bought a house. He'd lived there for a while in an apartment, and then he bought a house, and he's kind of like putting down vibes, like settling down. Like he left the state for the first time just recently,
Hmm.
and he has said he is going to move away from doing daily videos,
Yeah.
which will be interesting because Michelle and I talked about this, and I said, this looks great. I'm sure there's millions of people that give their right arm to have this guy's life. He's like, oh, I travel around and I go to Disney World, 25
Well,
times a month. But
he's
God,
yeah he
every day would be a freaking grind.
oh, it would be a grind. Yeah, it sounds like that I became a fan of Goggins after his is it Coggins or Goggins after his groundbreaking role in Major League Three, Back to the Minors, which I don't think gets that many
ground,
good
groundbreaking,
reviews.
groundbreaking role. Like,
Chickless is still out there, but he's mainly in films. He's a heck of an actor, yeah, but not the most handsome guy. Well, that's it. He's just not. He's
that's
not.
what that's why he
He's
played
not
the
your
thing.
lead. He's
Well,
not
that's
your.
again, it's
He
not
gets
just
the
it's not
part
just
where.
girls that get, that
Yeah, that's right.
that
Yeah.
problem. I mean,
Well, yeah, when you see guys that overcome that, like a Hoffman, Dustin Hoffman, or something like that, it's like, hey, this guy, why is he in all my movies? It's like,
yeah,
well, it's like because he does something nobody else can do. He puts it over in a way that directors like. For one thing, it's like, we got that done. Well, no, that's not true because everybody hates working with him. So it's like he
I don't
can
think they
do
have to
it.
like him. I don't think they have to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
him.
that's the deal. Yeah, you don't have to
It's
like the
just it's
guy.
well, it's kind of like they always say if you want to work in comics, you got to be, was it good? You got to be really good, really fast, or really nice, or you got
Yeah,
to be two of the three or something like that.
yeah, yeah, that sort of thing. You got to have a
But I
some
don't
sort
think
of something.
Hollywood cares if you're nice.
Yeah,
Easy to get along with, and I don't think Hollywood cares
yeah,
because the
yeah.
directors
Well,
will
they're all
steamroll
every other word is a curse word anyway. It's like
right.
if
The
nobody
directors don't
nobody
care
can
about that.
hang on to a positive, optimistic, you'd get eaten. You'd say, hey,
Yeah, I think in Hollywood it's more like, I mean, I think it's, do you sell? You know,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
you check off
Yeah,
some kind
well,
of
that's all
nebulous
you've got to
box?
check on. Is like you say about ending
But
careers.
I
It's
think there's
like
more to it than I
is
think there's more to it than that, though. I mean, there's something
there's
kind
not
of like
much more to it
comics.
than bottom line.
No, but I think with comics, that I don't think bottom line is like the comic thing, or some people would not have careers.
Hmm.
You know. Anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, again, that audio book, that big Marvel the Untold Story, it tells the tale of several guys that you know were the workhorses that you could point them at them and say, hey, they're not that good, but man, if you're the
Yeah.
workhorse that
Well,
is making, you know how crazy the demand was to keep that press running.
oh yeah.
Hard, very hard.
Well, if you don't
Always
hit
hit
your
your deadlines. Yep.
yeah, if you don't hit your deadlines, it costs everybody money in comics. Anyway,
Comics. Dan says comics. It is be super nice, super talented, and always hit your deadline. So you got to do all three. At least it
yeah.
should be that way. No, okay. Yeah, he's just being.
Well,
He
yeah,
was
but
blue
I mean,
skying on what gets
look
done.
what's going on. Look what's going on with Ed Piskor and the
Yeah.
vultures that won't even let the poor man rest in peace. They'd dig him up and eat his corpse if they could.
Yeah.
It's
Take
crazy.
take a cue from OJ and just say, hey, I'm going to find that guy that wrote those letters to that girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he should have
Yeah,
done.
and then go search on the golf course.
Yeah. 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 Go golf. We'll find that guy that wrote all those suggestive letters to that girl.
Yeah, that's what they're
I'll,
doing. They're
we'll
gonna
have
find
Joe. OJ,
it.
he
So
died today.
yeah, yeah,
And,
it's weird. Don't care a bit about OJ,
me
but
neither.
he was a very formative. Well, so I'm gonna say this: when the trial happened, and it went over a year, and I started listening to it on my lunch hour because they broadcast it live,
Yeah, I listened to every bit of it.
and it was so ridiculous. But a
Well,
couple,
the prosecution was so deer in the headlights
oh yeah,
struck
they
by
well they
all
thought
of
that
it.
that
They
was
were
a slam
awful.
dunk. They weren't
Yeah,
prepared for the onslaught of, and Judge
the
Ito was
onslaught. Yeah,
overwhelmed with celebrity.
yeah,
It was just a you know, uh,
yeah.
but so the but when it went off the air, when the trial when it was rendered, I was listening to it on the local KTOK channel. I don't know if you're
Mm-hmm.
familiar with KTOK. And immediately there was this void. Well, locally, they filled that void with Rush. So it
Mm-hmm.
went from Rush Limbaugh, not Rush the band.
Mm-hmm.
And so when that went off, when the trial ended, immediately, I mean, I used to listen. I'd listen to radio every day at lunchtime, and
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden it was like, oh. In fact, I'd listen to it at work at my desk through various points, depending on what was going on. And it's like, oh, well, I'll listen to this guy,
Mm-hmm.
and that's
You
that's what
discovered Rush from that
that's how I
point
discovered
forward.
Rush Limbaugh. And I mean, this was in the time of, remember Rush Rooms?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
He
know,
was a hot item. Yeah.
he was a hot item, and that was what I was up to, or how that was my introduction to Rush Limbaugh, and and he was so. I mean, and I don't know what anybody watching or listening thinks, and I'm sure there may be somebody that sees this that hates Rush Limbaugh or hated Rush Limbaugh, but I would argue that the man was like just very entertaining, and I mean, if you went into it with with uh, with an open mind, I don't see how you couldn't find him entertaining. Now,
No, it
now
was very,
obviously,
very compelling, entertaining. I was always well. You're. It's like when they started early on trying to nail Trump for stuff, and they were doing all these made up things. I watched some of that because I was compelled by it because I said, "What are these guys up to?" But later on, it was like, "You wore out your welcome. You're just a bunch of clowns." And they
yeah,
couldn't find the audience for it after that.
yeah,
After they'd done a few crazy notions
yeah,
about stabbing at him.
yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, so that was, and then out of that, um, yeah. But anyway, the OJ
Sorry.
thing was pretty crazy,
Oh, I loved,
and
I loved, I loved the OJ. Well, can you think of the prosecution's names? You can probably think of the
Marsha
defense's names.
Clark,
Marsha
Marsha
Clark.
Clark,
Yeah.
and what was the guy? There was a guy.
There was
Marsha
a
Clark was, I think, the lead prosecutor.
Yeah, she was the main one. I remember though the guy that was a kind of a dud was the guy out of Florida that was a big deal at one time. And he ended up obviously in it for the money. Oh, what was his name? He's a very famous attorney for some reason.
Was it Robert
And
Cardassian?
no, no, no. It was oh, you'd know the name if I could come up with it. Yeah, Rush was good. Um, Rush was the best. We miss him.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
he he just had some he had so much stuff thrust at him. I was we talked about having needles in your voodoo doll. I tell you, he had a few from obviously he would have had people sticking needles in his
Oh
voodoo
yeah,
doll.
yeah. 100% target all the time. Well, I
He
think
had the
any
OxyContin addiction. He lost his hearing probably due to that, and then later
yeah,
on, here he is, millionaire, and dies of something that's just coming along and taking him.
yeah,
Can't do anything about it.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's a
His
shame.
time.
It's yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this, and you can disagree with me if you want,
Okay, I'll
but
start now. Go ahead.
in the I'm not sure when the O.J. Simpson trial ended, but in the '90s, even when I Bill Clinton and I work with a guy that's very conservative, and he's not one of my employees, but he works at my work, and we used to carpool, and he hated Bill Clinton, hated Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
He would get irate at the mention of his name. And I've always said, Bill Clinton ended up not being that bad of a president. Now, part of it was just luck
He
of
wanted two
having,
terms, is why he wasn't too bad. Yep. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And he
And
was
part of it
listening.
was,
He was listening to basically people that were telling him how to put it over. He was listening to guys like Dick Morris and stuff like that on being basically, hey, bring it back, scale it down, do this, do that.
well, he did a lot of things that we really, by moving away from, really, the country was a lot better off when and I'm not saying it's because of him. I mean, there was a lot of other stuff going on, but at the time when he was president, things were a lot better. Now, part of it was we had the massive tech bubble that,
Hmm.
helped buoy his spending along.
Yeah.
But, it was good times, I think, even though it wasn't the guy I
Oh,
wanted to run
definitely.
and I think that and I think I've said this before. I think it was a mistake of the Republicans to impeach him, and I'm not. And I know people are like, well, he lied. Well, I'm not gonna argue I'm not gonna argue whether they had the right to or had the legitimate reason to. I think it was a mistake from a tactical standpoint because I think at that point really it became kind of open warfare between them and the Democrats. I mean, I
Hmm.
think I think politics went downhill after that. And
Well,
but I
yeah, no, yeah, that was but that was what they wanted, really.
who
Clinton,
who both of them or
yeah,
all
both
of
of
them,
them.
both parties?
His,
Yeah.
both, no, just the Democrats. Hillary arrived with the idea of how it should be done with her Saul Alinsky notions,
Hmm.
and she got to see them happen. That
But not with
they
Bill.
were never worried about being impeached, and
Oh yeah.
they never stopped fundraising off of everything that happened to them. They'd say, "Oh man, we're such poor people. We're here
Well,
from Arkansas," and they were always in fundraising mode up until the day they left the office. They were always getting the
yeah.
new.
Well, but and here's the other thing too. Why would you why would you try to impeach a president when you will not have the votes ever?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Or
why even go
and you'll
through the
have that
motion?
guy. Yeah, no, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, why even go through the motions?
Yeah,
But anyway, that's just my. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk politics.
that's all right.
But well, no, I wasn't. I was talking about so going back to OJ. I remember exactly where I was when I remember the OJ Simpson slow speed chase or whatever we're calling
Oh
it.
yeah. Hmm.
I remember because I came home from
Who was
work.
driving? Can you remember who was
Oh
driving?
God, it was his
What was
friend,
his
his
name?
buddy was
Yeah,
driving.
yeah.
AJ Cowlings, is that right?
I don't know. I don't know. Seemed like he had a real famous name. It seemed like I'd know it if you came up with it.
You know, but
I'll
I
look it up.
I came home
It's,
from work, and at that point, I had either a PlayStation or PlayStation 2. But a friend of ours, my brother and his friend came over, and we are going to play PlayStation. And we went out to eat. And I remember when we left, that chase was going on, and on the way there, I was listening on the radio, and it ended before we got to. We had a Mexican restaurant. I remember exactly where we ate.
hey, oh yeah, yeah. You remember where you were, kind of like
Yeah,
that.
it really was
Hey,
one of the where were you moments.
you were right, Scott. A.C. Collins.
Oh, AC. I think I said AJ.
Okay.
AC.
Well, no, I
Yeah,
mean, I wouldn't have, I was just anti-Collins, I think, as much as AC.
anti
So, no, I
Collins.
don't
Yeah.
recognize that name.
Oh, gotcha. Crap. Okay. I'm trying to. I'm trying to. Okay.
Well,
Sorry.
the deal with, the OJ, the mind boggles the idea that you can. Of course, there's this movie that I've got on my list to watch of Richard Jewell that is directed by Clint
Oh,
Eastwood, which is a guy that they came after and convicted with all sorts of
public
stuff that
thing.
as they presented it, and they did the same thing with that Tylenol, the anthrax guy. They had one guy they wanted to be it, and he fit everything they liked about it in the profile. And it was
Yep.
it was a guy that worked in the same damn lab, but it wasn't him. And they went
Well,
after him hard, and then the guy that did it committed suicide by, and who knew you could do this? He basically distilled and magnified just a bottle of Tylenol. He just made poison up. If you work in a lab, it's
yeah.
always going to be easy to figure out how to
Yeah, you can poison
check
yourself. You can
out.
figure that. Yeah, you can figure that out.
Yeah. So, I'll just distill a little Tylenol and bye bye. You'll never,
Well, I
ain't
think
no
I knew that
hangman going to put a rope around me.
if you took enough Tylenol, it'd kill you. I think about any medicine, if you take
Yeah,
enough,
any medicine. Yeah.
unless it's water soluble. I think you're okay there. Like a
Mhm.
vitamin or something. B12, you couldn't do it with. I don't think.
He made sure no one ever called Hillary Madam President. No, yeah, yeah. Well, there was a lot of stuff.
Who
There were
did?
Hill, I guess
Who's the
Bill.
he? Oh, Bill.
I guess I
Well,
don't
I
know.
don't know. I don't know.
Well, it's like what people, a lot of being manipulated by stuff like I always felt like they had a press release that was designed to roil everybody in America that was the least bit conservative every day. That was part of
Yeah.
their keeping them off balance kind of strategy. And
Yeah,
it
probably
works
so.
great.
Well, yeah. I was
It's like,
watching.
hey, dummies, well, you'll like this one. And then
Yeah,
they,
here's what we're doing
just,
now, guys.
hey, here's what we're doing now. What do you think? It's like almost like giggling and stepping back out of the way. It's like none of this means anything. Just don't ask us to do anything that is hard to do or requires effort or requires anything but kicking the can down the road.
So I, so I'm, I don't know if Dan's still on here. I'm assuming he
Oh
is.
yeah, it is.
This is page 10, Dan. I think I told you about the changes, but I'm not for sure. I'm changing panel one. He's jumping, but it's a down shot, so he's leaping off the fire escape. Panel two, he's going to be landing. You have him fighting, and I'm gonna. I took instead of 2 panels fight. There's just one panel of a fight. Actually, there's a couple panels, but anyway, so it'll be fine. Don't worry about it, Dan.
Okay.
Well, I feel so the way it reads, and I guess I could have flipped the camera angle, but I had the camera flipped the other way on page 9. So on page 9, he's up here, so I'm showing him jumping, and then but I feel like I need to show him landing, and he didn't write landing in a panel, so I'm writing land. I'm doing a landing panel, Dan. I think I talked about this.
You
If I
gotta have
didn't,
those landing panels. That's
well,
great.
it just, yeah, I think so.
Today I did a little. I stuck a piece of. Oops! Hey, what happened? My
I
camera
don't know
went
what.
away for a second.
Oh,
Uh, so I stuck yesterday. I stuck a random piece of index card into my rough work by Frank Frazetta, and I didn't even look where it went. I said, tomorrow I will copy from wherever I stuck that in there, and then it turned out to be probably my least favorite Frazetta painting, the roughs for it.
Oh.
But at the same time, when I copied it, it
Hmm.
was like, golly, I see where he gets the energy for his horses now. How he runs all of that gesture together, and it was it was just a really worthwhile thing to go ahead and dig in and copy.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the deal. The moment you copy something, your head is just different than when you're looking at something. You can think you can osmose something by looking at it, but that copying sure that's why they call
Yeah.
master
It's
studies on
yeah.
these painters and stuff like that. Dan says I am here. Yep,
Okay. Anyway,
just wanted to confirm
it'll all make sense when you get the
when you see it.
when you see it. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I know you would like, but you can't get it because it's on Netflix. They've
What's
got a new.
that?
They've got a
Taunt
new.
me.
Yeah, I'll taunt you. They have a new version of the Talented Mr. Ripley, which they aren't calling the Talented Mr. Ripley. I think they're just calling it Ripley, and it's done
I've
as a
never seen that or read the book, but I keep hearing about it.
well. It's it's what's her name? Highsmith,
Patricia's Highsmith, isn't
Patricia
it?
Highsmith, and she is a great writer. And everybody agrees, that as you're reading stuff by her, she manages to make you just kind of like dread turning the page. It's like something awful's about to happen, and they managed to do that with this TV or this Netflix series. It's only 8 segments, and it will just be the story we know with the Matt Damon movie, the Talented Mr. Ripley, but they're doing it so much deeper into the Highsmith notions. We learn what a jerk he is at the very beginning. So we know he's just a complete remorseless sociopath just by the
Oh
way he's
yeah.
making a living. He's running around and posting himself in front of professionals like doctors and stuff, like post office thing. He knows when the postman's coming, and he's sitting there looking through his mailbox when the postman arrives. Says, "Ah, just in time, or good timing," and then he takes the mail that was headed for him.
Oh yeah. I would
And
like that. I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't like if somebody did that, but that's
it's a brilliant thing to do. Before it goes through the door, grab it, and he uses that to do his own billings. He'll send off collection agency billings to these people that he'll
yeah.
call them. He'll just remorselessly fleece people, not for big money though. But by virtue of that, he lives in fear. And we're talking about you know this is just the first 40-minute segment that I've seen, and it's really cool because I remember it brought it all back. I remember the that whole thing about his character
Hmm.
and yeah, so it's well done. But the thing about it is they're doing it New York, 1961,
Oh,
and
okay.
you gotta see what someday you gotta check this out because I don't know how they did it. It's probably all just compositing and everything, but man, the shots they really convince you. You're looking at old timey New York,
Well, you
old
know, I
time. I mean,
watched that
1960.
Ferrari movie. I watched that Ferrari movie, and it takes place in 1957,
Uh
and
huh.
they did a really good job of it, and it made me want a Bond movie set in the 50s. You know,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
next
yeah.
Bond needs to be set in the 50s. He should be driving some of those Ferraris or Alphas or Jaguars or whatever.
That's interesting. You
You
mentioned
know.
Bond. Yeah, I just saw Connery. I said, "What is this with the Connery's old man face?" And then it starts out. It's Connery walking through the set of what's the Diamonds Are Forever. It's like, wait a minute. I clicked this thumbnail with an old man Connery. What is this young Bond walking through the set? Well, they were the Connery had agreed to do some sort of special on John Lautner, the architect. And the set he was wandering into is an actual house where he fought Thumper and
Oh,
Bambi.
yeah, Thumper and Bambi
Yeah,
from is that Diamonds Are Forever?
yeah. What did I say? I thought I said
I
something
don't know.
like
Did you
that.
say Diamonds Are Forever?
I think I just said something like that. Maybe not.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. But of course that John Lautner house, you know, I, he's in my algorithm. I get all the check out the Lautner house. Let's walk through it.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to be an architect when I went to
Yeah, yeah.
college originally.
Well, you probably know who he is, don't you? John
No.
Lautner and
Yeah.
Schindler and of course the man that inspired them all, the Frank Lloyd Wright.
Yeah. I have toured a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Um, I feel
I've
like
been
we
to that
talked
thing,
about
and I
this.
guess it's Guthrie or wherever it is that it's made.
Oh, the
Got those,
tower, Bartle,
yeah, that got those copper, all
Bartlesville,
that copper on it.
Bartlesville, I believe. The Price
Bartlesville, yeah, yeah,
Tower. The
yeah,
Price
yeah.
Tower, I think is. In Wichita, there's a private residence that he designed for a guy in Wichita, and at one point it was open to the public.
Hey, Dan has been doing stuff while I'm drawing
Oh,
really bad and
wait.
erasing and going back and. Okay, here we go. Hear me out. Idea. Hear me out.
Oh
Wait a
no!
second.
I mean,
Wow,
he's gonna have
what
me
is this?
redraw everything
Oh
again.
yeah, I gotta go way back up here. I am here. Here we go. From the top.
It'll-
I think my intention was for Black Cricket to be sticking the landing in the first panel. That may have been my bad
Here,
idea.
let's go to the script.
Oh,
Black
what
Cricket
was it?
jumps down
Hear
from the
him
fire
out. He
escape.
says right here in this next click. Hear him
Okay,
out.
what's it?
Hear me out. What if in panel two we have Jeremy, the bad guy, taking an offensive stance, and we have Black Cricket off panel, and then we start the fight in panel three?
How about this?
You
Let
will
me
have to
let me.
scroll back up. Wait a second. I got notes. Wait a second. Let me finish. But this way we can get to panel two with Jeremy looking all cocky. And then he gets the wind out of his sails in panel three. Again, just in case.
Hang
Scroll
on.
back up. I left notes. Okay, go ahead. Now go ahead.
Okay, so here's what I got. Here's what I got. I got
You
him
want me
jumping.
to let me solo
Uh,
him so you're not
okay,
distracted.
solo me. That's fine. Okay, so I
Okay.
got the Black Cricket is jumping. What's this guy's name? Is down. Jeremy's there. Sandra's there. This guy's laid out. So Black Cricket is jumping. Down shot on the alley. Kind of. Now let me show you the previous page. See? Okay. There's a down shot there. But there's a down shot on the alley. Black Cricket's jumping for the fire escape. He lands. Jeremy is in the foreground. Clenched fist. Jeremy swings at him. Black Cricket blocks. Sandra calls red. Black Cricket knocks out Jeremy. This is going to be Black Cricket is turning to face Sandra. Is going to be like, "Hey, I don't want any trouble."
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's the way you're got to visualize. Yeah, you're at the blob stage, though. Be easy
It
to change much of,
would be easy
except
to
you,
change.
except you've got a nice little grid. You've already
I do have a grid, but I
have a
can draw
nice
another.
grid
I
on
can
it.
draw another grid.
Okay,
Let me
well, I mean, you
see.
guys look at the script and see if you just, this is called cognitive dissonance.
This
Scott
is where
thinks he read this script, but
I read this.
he
Is that what he's writing? Did he write
no,
that?
no, not yet. No, I'm
You son of a no.
I'm making it up. Hey, I was just thinking today as I was checking out at Walmart about the pushiness of Scott Sackett as he was forcing me to sack almost simultaneously with scanning my goods.
Oh,
I said,
you don't even know the depths of my pushiness.
it's
I
like
live
go
to
ahead,
be
go ahead, go
pushy.
ahead. So
I live to be
I am
pushy.
laughing at the idea that I shouldn't laugh though, because it is. I mean, you've got your vision of this thing. It's like, you know, it has
Let
to
me go
be
back to
hands
the
off to an
thumbnails.
extent.
Here are the thumbnails,
Okay.
which were which were sent to Dan.
Oh, they were sent to him, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Dan saw these, but I would argue,
It's Dan's
in
fault.
I would no, I would play devil's advocate and say
Okay.
that he may not have been able to decipher my doodles, even though the first one's clear.
You
This is
I tell you,
clearly a down shot. This is clearly a
yeah,
down shot.
yeah.
um. So, uh, it's funny. Did you bag and scan at the same time like I told you to?
I thought about the fact that oh, what's funny is I saw Gunga Din, and I'll roll this into seeing Gunga Din.
Okay.
The other Kipling thing he wrote was that thing about, and if you can say
Jabberwocky.
all that, then you are
Oh.
a man, my son, or
Oh
whatever.
yeah. If.
If. So he wrote that too. Well, that's such an ideal. It's like, wow, yeah, to be let everybody else lose their head, and you're the cool one. I wish I had that way, but instead, a crisis hits me, and the needle goes into stabs into hysteria instantly, and that's where I stay until I work it out. I was doing that checkout at Walmart, and then I pushed the thing out, the cart,
Yeah.
and then I patted my pocket. I said, "My wallet's gone."
Oh
And I
no.
and I dashed back in, just left the groceries there. And then once I got in, when I didn't find it instantly, because I thought, oh, you can't have a wallet just sitting around in one of those spots. It's gone instantly. Somebody comes along behind you. And so I came in, didn't see it. Woman saw me just running in and wondered what's wrong with me. And
I've wondered that often.
yeah, exactly. And and then I said, "Oh, well, it's not here. It may be in my groceries." I had to double back. And say, it's just like it was basically a Stooges routine.
It's like, get her, Mo.
So I went back, checked my groceries, and I'd stuck it in my hoodie pocket. And that's like, oh my
In the
God.
other pocket? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it basically it
Ah,
was in another pocket, but a pocket it's
oh
never
God.
in.
God, yeah, but meanwhile your blood pressure shot up
Oh yeah,
300
it
points.
shot to the moon. It shot to the moon. Yep. Like I say, when everyone else is losing their heads all about you,
They're behind Ellis.
they're behind Ellis.
Well, I don't know. I may have been. I've had. Well, we had a deal one time. Michelle and I. We were in New York City of all places, and we went to this coffee shop. We went for breakfast. We were at this little coffee shop. Whatever. We got bagels. We got coffee. I'm talking to the people there. We sat down. I'm chatting with the people in the table next to us, and we left. We walked. We got probably 2 miles away, and Michelle goes, "I don't have my purse."
Uh-oh.
I go, "Where's your purse?" She goes, "I left it at the restaurant." I handed her my backpack and I ran
Yeah,
back to
yeah.
the restaurant. And when I walked in, the girl behind the counter goes, "Are you looking for your wife's purse?" And I go, "Yes." And she goes, "I thought it was yours." And she handed me Michelle's purse, and I was like, "Oh my gosh," because
You
you
might have been
think,
Tom Ripley. You know.
well, you think that good grief, if anywhere is going to give you
Yeah, if you're
angina
gonna
about
lose it,
losing
yep, yep,
in New York City, but
yep.
I mean, that stuff happens,
Hey, more notes from Dan.
oh
You
no.
want to hear it?
I
Oh
mean, yeah.
no. Let's hear it. Here.
Dan. Yes. What do you say?
I got notes. He says, but this way we can get panel two with Jeremy looking all cocky. And when he gets the wind out of his sails, and then he gets the wind out of his sails in panel three. Again, just in case, scroll back up. I left notes. That is okay. We can roll with this. Okay, he's relented. He said, "Do your thing." I don't
Uh,
think I saw the last few pages. Oh, or if so, they were
notes.
bunched together. Keep in mind, I
well,
was working on the outline for the first story arc. So in case I kick off, you guys can finish this. Well, if that
well,
happens, I
first
can haunt
off,
you. Yeah.
no, no. God, you say that. I mean, we had a guy die at my work this week, man.
Uh-oh. Just at work?
Yeah.
At work?
Yes, at work. Yeah. I don't want to share the details, but let's just say it was an industrial accident.
Oh
I
my
mean,
God.
yeah, I've worked there 35 years. No one has ever died at work. Very few people have died that work there. I mean, less than a handful that work.
Yeah.
Now we've had ex-employees pass away and that sort of thing.
But I actually
Very few
died
people
on the job with
died on the job.
caused
Yeah.
by the job.
Well,
Kinda.
caused by I don't know. That's why I don't want to say a whole lot because I
Yeah.
don't know what caused it, and I would hate to.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid I put something out there that somebody sees that's
Oh
incorrect
yeah.
or whatever.
No,
But
you don't want to do
but
that.
it was. I mean, I don't know if it was. If I don't know if it was a. I suspect it was a lack of a safety protocol. That's the rumor I've heard. Let me put it that way. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but either way, and I barely knew the guy, but it's just horrible.
Hmm.
In fact, when I say barely knew the guy, I barely knew who the guy was when they told me his name. I mean, in terms of like, I could pick him
Yeah,
out of a
yeah.
lineup.
Well, you work in a large enough place
Yeah, there's like
that
300 people there,
yeah.
and he's not someone that I would come in contact with
Well,
ever, really.
Dan's
Yeah.
got a recommendation. Check out
Okay.
today's Comics Matter from Richard C. Myers. He breaks down the scripts of one of Marvel's writers. Apparently, that's a mess. Dude, I got too many people in this world to tick off. I ain't planning on going anywhere. Yep. Ellis, finish reading the rest of these. I don't want to end on a downer. Okay, wait.
No, no,
Oh, sorry,
no.
Ellis.
We're
I
good.
missed.
If
I missed an L. Okay, that's all right. I didn't say Elise.
Elise. Hey, how's Silver doing?
How is Silver doing? Oh, my car.
Yeah, your car. I went to the trouble of remembering your car's name.
My car's name, and then
Then
I
you
blank on you.
like,
Oh, it's actually driving just great. It's like I've got it back, and I hope it stays that way for
a long
the rest
time.
of my life. Yeah,
Also a long time.
that's also a long time. Uh, my
But you know what? I
my
am gonna mess with this because I don't like how big this first panel is.
yeah
Even though I
yeah
think
yeah. I mean, keep what it has in the back of your mind, and
I'll
and,
I'll
and
I'll,
work
I'll
on the
have to.
blob of it
Well,
all.
I'm concerned because I'm running behind. And here's what I was going to tell you. And I think I told Dan this. My wife is leaving town next week, and
Hmm.
so I will not be able to draw because I'll need to stay downstairs with the dog, which sounds ridiculous, but it's how it is.
Because
And
it just flips out, I bet, when it's
well,
left
yeah,
alone.
if I tried to draw when Michelle wasn't here during an evening, the
Hmm.
dog would be up here jumping on me and
Hmm.
jumping, So I'm gonna stay downstairs next week, and I'll probably draw in my sketchbook, but I probably won't get many pages done, and so I'm concerned that I'm gonna get behind because I've just
Hmm.
had it's been busy. I've got a bunch of crap I'm doing, which sucks. I don't like doing crap. Okay, so his idea is his, his idea is he jumps down, but I want to show him in the air. How can I work this out, Ellis?
Dan says, if I die, I'll come back and haunt Scott as he draws Black Cricket in between scaring the crap out of my sister.
There you go, Sister
Dude, I
Zero.
love the first panel. That's what he said.
Okay,
You sold it to
okay.
me, and then you broke my heart. It's
Well,
okay
I
if you
need
have
I
to
need a
take
little
it.
more space. I need a little more
Hey, he
space.
says it's okay if you have to take extra time. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, I thought he sent me the outline of the whole. He sent me the outline of the whole first story arc,
Hmm.
and it's like it's very detailed. and very intricate, and it's like, how are we going to get it's like kind of one of those, wow, he's got a lot going on, and which is cool. I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to have a something
A
to.
plan, a plan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want that?
For sure. Yeah, I like that. I was just writing on someone else's page that someone was lamenting that stuff. They're like, I'm gonna stop trying stuff because it never works out. And I was thinking, well, I did this comic that I thought was gonna be my big breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up being a nightmare because
Yeah.
of issues mostly with the publisher, in my opinion. And so then it's like I pretty much decided, like, well, fine, I'll just draw comics for myself. And then somehow out of the blue, Dan is like, hey, will you draw the Black Cricket? I was like, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's you can't call something. You know what? You can't call something a waste of time if you finished it, because the number one priority is to finish the work, and that's what
Yes.
I always said about you. Is like you finish, and even though we're here about running behind, finish it. You'll get to it, but don't worry about
Yeah.
that. Some people, that's the first sign that the project has gone completely off the rails if they
Yeah.
get a
All of
little
a sudden, they're not
behind.
working on it.
Yeah, it's like
Well, I mean,
you'll
here's
get
the
it.
thing. Here's the thing, and I'll tell you. I mean, I enjoy this. I enjoy drawing comics. I enjoy going from this stay. I mean,
Hmm.
like I look at something like this, and to me, it's like this is. I look at it and I go, wow, that's it. I mean, whether you like it or not, I think it looks pretty cool. And
Yeah,
so,
pretty damn cool. See, I mean that's the thing, continual growth thing. So monthly feature, it will be a year. Let's see, this is Dan. Hey Scott,
oh yeah,
idea. Hey Scott, idea. What about this?
yeah,
Panel one, keep it as it is. Okay, I guess he's going to add after
okay,
that. He's typing.
okay,
Panel one, keep it as it is.
okay.
That's good news.
Because I've erased. Well, I need a little more room in these panels. I'm using a smaller page. This
Panel
is shrunk.
two, panel two, Jeremy looks cocky. BC is off panel. Black cricket.
Okay,
Panel three, black cricket blocks Jeremy's blow.
okay, we've got that. I mean,
Okay.
that's yeah.
Panel
I,
four, black cricket clocks him. Not blocks him, clocks him.
well, hang on. He skipped the panel because Sandra's got to call red. That's this panel.
Okay.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. There's where he gets
Panel
clocked.
five, Sandra calls red as black
Oh,
cricket faces her. So he's probably trying to play with your the events as they're staged. Maybe you shouldn't have a cut. Maybe you should try to get more done with one panel. Maybe that's what he's saying.
well, I
I don't
could
know.
do. Okay, so he's saying, well, I could do all that and not have to switch the Sandra thing.
He says, "Hang on,
Oh, hang
panel
on.
panel five." He's got some thoughts coming. That gives you two panels in the center.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think? That's his ideas. He's
Oh, I see.
basically he said
Oh.
approached you with a layout notion, an action and how you reveal it motion
So is he
notion
eliminating a panel then? I think he's eliminating a panel. I'm
maybe.
okay with that. Yeah, okay. I see what he's saying. So he's saying like I do a panel like here, and then Jeremy is looking like, hey, bring it on, and then right here I would eliminate this panel.
We can have Sandra react to Black Cricket's block in panel three.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think what I need to do, and this will take a little bit of thinking, but I think what I need to do is have him do the block in such a way that it looks like he landed. In other words, he's maybe like he's on 1 foot or something, and he's blocking. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm making hand motions,
Okay.
but he's blocking, and then yeah. Okay, I like that. I'll do that.
And then panel 5 is when she knows she's got the to call phase in. That's when she knows that.
Okay. You'll have to tweak the script, but I'm okay with this. This is good. I like this. I think this
Okay,
works
very
better.
good. I mean, people are watching you guys interact and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is
fun.
like a master
Comics.
class that we're not charging for.
Yeah. There you go.
Something like that. Something like that. Okay, I will try and get the thumbnails more solidified. I'll do a layout page. I'll do a layout, and then I'll shoot you the layout, Dan. And
Yeah, that's the way to go fast by going slow, to make sure that you have it totally like
I'll do a layout.
nailed down of how your compositions
Then I'll send you the layout, and then you can
your
say
storytelling.
yeah. No,
Okay, wait a second. He's added a bunch of stuff.
No,
That is good. We can roll with this.
Okay.
Always remember, this is not just me. I want input from you, Scott and Jeff. Heck, Ellis, you see something, let me know.
No. Ellis needs to butt out.
Nah, I trust you, brother. Oh, yeah. If you guys want me to art direct this, just I'll do it.
No, yeah, all we gotta do is give you space.
Oh, yeah, just let me know.
Well, you've been
the whole
pretty
art
quick
direct
to-
you.
You'll tell me if you think I should change something, and sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm
I've
like,
art directed
whatever, dude.
Scott a lot.
Yeah,
But I've changed my mind. He's changed my mind. He art directed
Sure.
the heck out of my what do you call it? The Locust Bride. He changed the cover entirely.
I went so
went
far
with
as to like Photoshop you a different cover.
Yeah, the color scheme totally changed it. And
So
it
I
was
want to
good.
show
It was
this.
good.
I want to show this on the thing because Dan's
Okay.
on here. So
All
this
right.
is so I bought this. I'm not a big action figure guy, but I got a couple. I got this. It's Captain
That's
Marvel.
a good one. Good one.
The reason why I got it, I'll tell you why I got it, because he has very Bronze Age hair, where it's kind of
Mhm.
parted. It's got this swoop over here. I always have so much trouble drawing that. And
That
this is kind of
simplification is great to have in 3D. That's great. Yeah.
well, and that's why I got it because of the hair. But that's kind of how I think of when I draw the black crickets. This is what I use as a reference. I think his part may be on the other side, but I always had trouble with. And John Byrne would draw like Captain America with hair kind of like this,
Mhm.
and it looks good from the front. And then when you get over here, it's like, what's it doing? And so.
Mhm. Got to
You know.
figure out where it lays.
Anyway, I happen to have that on my desk, and then I got another action. This is the action. I haven't used it a lot. I may use it, but I'll use it to figure out poses
Oh
because
yeah.
it's very lightweight, and so it'll stick to about any pose you stick it in.
Hmm.
So that may be, I may have the black cricket landing
Do you have some of those?
and blocking.
Do you have some of those extra hands? Those the Exacto things with the alligator
No.
clips? Those are good.
No, I probably need one. Nah,
Yeah.
I don't. I got enough crap.
Well,
But this is, and then I bought this. This is one of
Yeah.
those
I've got one of those.
body
Those are
cam.
handy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a little more flexible. But man, for years, the Daredevil's what I used.
It just turned out that those that little gray one is the exact same scale as that motorcycle I've got, and I was putting him on top of that motorcycle, and it was just a great tool.
Yeah, so if he's maybe landing and blocking, something like that. I don't know. I need to. What I need to do? I need to read some Ditko.
There you go.
What's Spider-Man do when he's?
Yeah, Frank should have hair that borders on anime. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever
that's-
see the Ben Affleck Daredevil action figure? Did it actually look like Affleck? I'm using the what do you call it? The Gottfried pronunciation of Affleck's name.
I will look for that. I saw there's a video that I saw that is a Peter
He says-
Parker action figures for one of the movies. I forget which one, but somebody did stop motion animation that's amazing with it, and I want that figure now so bad.
I highly
But
recommend it, as the joint action on that figure is nuts.
oh, y'all have to check
And
it
they
out.
have
I
jointed
have
hands and feet. Huh, the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
I have the big Spider-Man action figure, and I got it with the idea. There's a big one. I got it with the
Mhm.
idea I'd use it for reference, but it's too big. But I think it goes for big bucks now on eBay. It's around here
That's the
somewhere.
deal, these out of print, you snooze,
Yeah.
you lose kind of toys and stuff like that. It's like you can't get them now without paying dearly. Oh,
So I
what is Black Cricket blocks him with a kick as he is landing? What if, probably instead of what is. I don't know.
I'll have to see. I have to figure that out. I have to do some doodles because
Sometimes,
fighting is you don't want to look like he's you know
no,
it's got to look real
hmm
ish.
hmm cause and effect and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, don't, you know, think about the most important thing, and you can't have uh, more than one important thing. I mean, you really can't, because then
Well, that's
you're saying
see.
when you have two important things, you've gotten rid of your important thing. So
Well, and that's
you
the
gotta you
thing.
gotta edit.
He needs to be landing, and or he needs to have the appearance of just having landed and blocking the punch. And so there's kind of two actions I got to show. So figuring out that pose is going to be critical, but not
Hmm.
impossible. Certainly not impossible. Absolutely, I'm on that. You know,
That would look
that's
badass. Yeah.
that's the kind of challenges I like. That's what I like
Hmm.
about drawing comics.
Oh yeah, yeah. I tell you, if you can pull off drawing comics, you'll find yourself in a rarefied thing. When just because I try comics and spent so much creating the figure, I worked at. Wait, what the hell? We black. I went black. It's
Oh
black.
yeah, you kind of glitched out for a second. I can hear you now though.
Oh well, I worked at North Island, Coronado, doing for heli pilots. Basically the walk talks, and you do
Yeah.
the visuals for it. And man, that was that was my cup of tea. I just love doing little out of sequence kind of stuff like that. Like here, yeah, we'll do two or three little things that help you tell your story about your helicopter. It was the ones that have the big pontoons on them, and they drop little
Oh yeah.
sonar things. They're basically sub hunters mostly, but they're also
Yeah.
used for rescues.
Oh yeah.
I think they're 54s or something like that. I ought to be able to remember that. As many of them as I drew.
That's funny. I mean, it's funny to me that that's what you did. It's odd. Some of these art jobs, it's like people are doing what?
Yeah, I worked for Top Gun too, so I drew a lot, and it was kind of fun to hear the process of. And this would have been classified coming through with me as like the MiG. What was it, 13 MiG? When it was coming through, they were just getting started on knowing what the heck it even looked like, and so we had all this data that was close to this and all that, and so we do these. This might be what it looks like. Sketches of it,
Oh, really?
that was kind of fun. We will
That is
get
kind of
into it
cool.
later, but I do want to show how his dad made sure he could protect himself after he lost his hearing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And that well,
okay,
the text even
okay.
says,
Just tell me scroll up a bit. Here, wait a second.
"Scroll
Yeah,
up, Ellis. You went
black
too
cricket,
fast."
uh, black cricket doing the roundhouse kick. That might telegraph how tough he really is. What a threat he is at hand-to-hand fighting.
Oh, you know what I could do? Oh, no, 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 no. I
But we
got it.
will, but we will get into it later.
I
I do
got
want
it. It's going to be one of those like a flying kick,
to. Uh-huh.
like a jump kick, but he's like he's landing, and when he's landing, he flings his leg out,
Hmm.
and you know what I'm talking about. One of like these kind of things. like where he's landed, like this,
Uh-huh.
like that.
Doofus. I'm just.
What?
You got to learn how to pose that guy. No, I'm just kidding
Well, hey,
you. Yeah.
I'm just live on the fly, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've been at it an hour, Dan and you. Wow, back and forth, back and forth. You guys
Yeah,
got to continue it on
Dan is
Facebook here.
causing all kinds of trouble.
Yeah.
No. This
And
is
also, I guess the comments are there for you to check on if you wanna see what
oh
I
yeah,
may have
I'll do
missed.
that. I'll do that.
So
I got some ideas. Yeah, very cool.
very cool.
Yeah,
Um, okay, you ready to call it
yeah,
quits? Hey Dan,
yeah.
thanks
Let's
for
call it
showing up
quits.
and keeping it
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, Dan, no doubt, man. Thanks for
What
keeping me
about
on
one?
board.
Wait a second, he's got more. What
Oh,
about
he's
one
got
of
more?
those Gotcha Man landings? Oh, Gotcha Man. I guess that's a
It's
manga
I don't
or
know.
what,
I can't. It's
where he
like you
lands
land.
his crotch on Jeremy's neck, and then he punches him. Yeah, it's what they typically have the girls do. I was watching that
Yeah,
on
kind of the
Mission
Iron Man
Impossible, where
thing.
they whip her all the way around their neck. And
Let's leave it at this.
okay,
I will come up with something. I have probably about 20 martial arts books.
yeah,
I will dig through them and I'll come up with something. Let's not overthink it at this point. Let me draw some doodles, and I will send you layouts, good solid layouts before I go to, and nothing is unchangeable at that point.
okay. Oh, I'm tired for
Ellis
some
is
reason.
good with it.
Yep,
I wasn't tired till you yawned.
yep.
Anyway.
Thanks, guys. But I got ideas. I need to share them. Yep, I got.
Stay in your
Okay,
lane.
yeah.
Stay in your lane.
Okay. We're ending the stream, Dan. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you,
Talk to
Dan.
yourself like I do. Bye bye.